Hello there everybody, this is Terry Lawton here from climatechangeagenda.com. Now a couple of months ago I documented fibres falling from the skies here in County Wexford which were covering the local landscape. Now, shortly afterwards I received lab verification that these fibres were nanofibres or nanotechnology. So I felt the need to make a video just to explain why I believe these nanofibres are being sprayed on us. Well, first of all, this is a climate engineering conference I attended in Berlin in 2014, and at this conference they not only discussed climate engineering, re-engineering the climate as a supposed response to global warming, but they also discussed human engineering. In this presentation they talked about spraying substances into the atmosphere from aircraft with the purpose of re-engineering the climate and also re-engineering human beings. They talked about changing DNA and the human genome. Now, this is a document from NASA called the NASA War Document, and if you care about your children's future, you need to read this document because this is a declaration of war against life on Earth. This is up on my website, climatechangeagenda.com, and on page 42 of 114, they talk about spraying smart dust to float in air currents and nanotechnology. To be placed on everything, everywhere. So nanotechnology and smart dust. Let's see what the Wikipedia definition of smart dust is. Smart dust is a system of many tiny microelectrical mechanical systems such as sensors, robots or other devices that can detect, for example, light, temperature, vibration, magnetism or chemicals. They are usually operated on a computer network wirelessly and are distributed over some area to perform tasks, usually sensing through radio frequencies. Now here's a video which the establishment outlines their uses for smart dust.
But in the future, every square inch of every city will be alive with intelligence. Because every street and every building will have a network of microcomputers built right into them. Dr. Chris Piester calls it smart dust.
A smart dust particle or mote is a wireless sensor with sensing, computation, communication, and power in one package.
These all-in-one microcomputers will be small, very small.
The size of a mote today is about the size of a grain of rice. And we've shown that we can make the circuitry small enough and light enough that eventually it will be possible to make things that are on a sub-millimeter size scale.
Tiny specks of computer smart dust will form a vast invisible network that can help manage the infrastructure of even the largest city.
Smart cities in the future will take this low-power, inexpensive, small technology and basically distribute it everywhere.
These tiny computers record information about their surroundings, information they can send to other computers or to you. Smart dust on the tracks will monitor your commuter train so you know if it's running late. Potholes will be able to report themselves and warn your car, and you'll never have to wait for a radio traffic report again.
They're monitoring the flow of traffic and giving you alerts about what route is the right way to go to keep the traffic moving.
Bridges will get a coating of smart dust particles that can warn us when they detect stress fractures, helping avoid deadly collapses. But smart dust will also allow buildings and streets to recognize you and respond accordingly.
I think increasingly the environment will respond to who we are and adapt in consequence.
The city will know where you are if you want it to.
Your workplace will know you. Smart dust at the entrance will boot up your computer. And smart dust embedded in the elevator doors will automatically ring your floor.
So smart dust from a surveillance point of view would be every tyrant's dream on steroids. But what they didn't talk about in that video was how these smart devices would be communicating, what medium would they be communicating through. And this is where the Internet of Things comes in. And the Internet of Things is the idea that everything can be connected through a global Wi-Fi system.
But what does the Internet of Things actually mean? IoT is an evolution of mobile, home, and embedded applications that are being connected to the internet, integrating greater compute capabilities, and using data analytics to extract meaningful information. Billions of devices will be connected to the internet, and soon, hundreds of billions of devices. As related devices connect with each other, they can become an intelligent system of systems. And when these intelligent devices and systems of systems share data over the cloud and analyze it, they can transform our businesses, our lives, and our world in countless ways. Whether it's improving medical outcomes, creating better products faster with lower development costs, making shopping more enjoyable, or optimizing energy generation and consumption. Here's an example of the big picture. Imagine an intelligent device such as a smart traffic camera. The camera can monitor the road for congestion, accidents, and weather conditions, and communicate that status to a gateway that combines it with data from other cameras, creating an intelligent citywide traffic system. Now, imagine that intelligent traffic system connected to other citywide transportation systems, which get data from their own intelligent devices, creating an ever larger intelligent system of systems.
Okay, so they're trying to sell the Internet of Things there as some great technology that could uplift humanity, and possibly, yes, it could, you know, if you're into that sci-fi kind of world, but not me personally. But unfortunately, this technology is in the wrong hands. Just going back to the video there, notice how he talks about here about billions of devices, and then hundreds of billions of devices will soon be connected. Now look at what they refer to as devices. Look at, you've got everything from trucks to helicopters, submarines, everything, all sorts of turbines. But look at, we're in there as well, humans as well. Just notice that.
Internet, and soon, hundreds of billions of devices.
Okay, so that's what they're doing. They're spraying this technology upon us to become a part of us, so that we can be literally turned into half machine, half robot. I mean, half human, half robot. Now, what they also didn't talk about there was the medium, the Wi-Fi system in which this whole surveillance system will be made possible. And this is where 5G comes in. 5G is basically, once it goes online in 2020, our planet is just going to be turned into a Wi-Fi cage, and this is just lethal. These are millimeter waves, and there are 90 million waves a second is what will be pounding out from these 5G systems around the planet. The mobile phone towers and the satellites, the whole planet will be online and vibrating, and on a frequency of 90 million waves a second. That's 90 gigahertz. 4G, 3G and 2G operated on 4 gigahertz. So that was lethal enough, but this is going to be just devastating for life on Earth. DNA shattering and destroying technology. Now here's the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission in America telling us that 5G is going to go online everywhere. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's going online whether we like it or not. And he talks about the Internet of Things here also.
But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way. If something can be connected, it will be connected. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole provenance of urban areas. The 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country. A lot. You can be sure of only one thing. The biggest Internet of Things application is yet to be imagined.
So this is how I see it. They're spraying us every day with chemtrails. We very rarely see the sun anymore. They're spraying into the atmosphere to keep the atmosphere in a state of plasma. They have created an artificial atmosphere, and basically this is the cloud that they spoke about in that previous video about the Internet of Things, and that's the cloud that we're talking about that we see every day. And this is where they will store all the information, and this is not science fiction. You know, this is what they're actually discussing. And, you know, it's just like the Terminator, the Skynet. You know, everything is being reported to Skynet. It's no different than that. And so they're spraying constantly to keep the plasma, plasma in the atmosphere. And they are spraying all life on the planet so that all life will be impregnated and controlled by artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. That is impregnated by nanotechnology. Yes, there are so many agendas to the global chemtrail program. It's a multifaceted, nefarious agenda program. Obviously, there's the weather control aspect, which is facilitating their multi-trillion-dollar a year carbon tax climate change scam. There's the environmental modification, which is creating different soil, so that Monsanto now are coming up with new seeds that can grow in aluminium contaminated soil, and you know, they're taking over the food supply as a result of this. So this is about full spectrum dominance, and that's a military term, a term they use for taking over everything. And they are doing it. They have been controlling the weather for decades. They have taken over the environment. Nearly all food now is genetically modified, and thus, if we eat genetically modified food, we are genetically engineering ourselves as well. And you know, there's just no getting away from this stuff. That is genetically modified food. I mean, even if you buy genetically, even if you buy organic seeds, it's very hard to know whether they're even organic anymore because everything has been sprayed anyhow from the sky. So yes, multifaceted agendas, folks, and also, as I discussed in this video, the transhumanism agenda, and this is all being spoken about now in National Geographic. You know, the next human, merging man with machine. They want technology to become a part of us again, you know, just like spraying the technology on us so that all these little nanobots or smart dusts, microprocessors will be inside of us, and we can be all controlled through frequencies, through frequency towers, and our thoughts can be read and sent to the cloud, and our thoughts can be put into our minds as well. This is all mainstream science. This can all be done. Every thought has a frequency. So this is what's happening, folks. Crazy times. Artificial intelligence, they want to take over. And as Ray Kurzweil said, Ray Kurzweil is the director of engineering at Google. We will be uploading our entire minds to computers by 2045, and our bodies will be replaced by machines within 90 years. This is the future these psychopaths want. And public ignorance is government bliss, as they say. The last thing they want is people waking up to this. So that's why it's so important to share information and understand what time we're at in history, because ignorance is just playing into their hands completely, and it gives them all the power. This entire deception relies on public ignorance to operate. So please get the word out. Tell who you can about what's going on in our skies and down here on Earth. We're living in crazy times, but we can change it, and I believe we have the power if we just realize our power and understand the power of information and sharing information. This is my website here. I've got it's just a great one-stop shop database for all information relating to weather control. It goes through the history of weather control, the documentation, the patents going back 150 years, the relation to the species extinctions with the lack of sunlight coming through now, just everything. Weather companies that you can order, rain, just it's all there. It's all happening. We're living literally in a sci-fi movie, except it's not science fiction. So anyhow, this is Terry Lawton for Climate Change Agenda. Signing out for now. Take care.